Good morning or good afternoon. It depends when you're listening on this. I'm Diane Danielson. I'm the COO of SVN International Corp. We are a commercial real estate brokerage and property management team, and we have about 200 offices in 6 or 7 countries. I'm excited here to have another episode of SVN Outreach. And what we do with SVN Outreach is we interview different people both within SVN and also in our communities around us who are doing exciting things in commercial real estate that are really changing how commercial real estate is developing and how it's built and how it's bought, sold, transacted, all of that information, but also how communities can get involved and how you can do the right thing for you and your community. Because here at SVN, our mission is to create amazing value for our clients, our colleagues, and our communities. And so I'm really excited about today's guest. Today's guest is Karin Brandt, and she is the CEO of CoUrbanize. And CoUrbanize is it's a tech platform, but it helps the community converse with developers and guide the conversation and get community input on local projects that affect them. And that kind of follows up from us talking to patronicity earlier, and so it brought me to Karin, and so I want to say welcome to our show.
Thank you.
And I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about what CoUrbanize is and how it came to be.
So CoUrbanize is better real estate through community engagement. My background is actually in city planning, so I like to joke that I went to lots of public meetings. And if you've seen Parks and Rec, then you know the problem that CoUrbanize solves.
That's a good inspiration.
But I, as a city planner, had a lot of ideas about how to create change in communities and build more affordable housing, more sustainability, and building better places for people to live of all backgrounds. And when I went to public meetings, I found myself and my colleagues the big ideas that we wanted to create in communities for change were stymied by opposition. And that opposition was very vocal. And the challenge that we had was, how do we reach all of the people from that silent majority population who are more amenable to change but don't have the time to come to a community meeting?
That is so true. As a former land use attorney, I've been to a few public meetings that were, yes, and also as in my current role as a chair of a Affordable Housing Committee, a few can make a very loud noise, and it's a way you're using technology as an equalizer, but also as an inclusive tool so that you can help people. I'm wondering to walk us through it. Is there a project that you're working on that could illustrate how CoUrbanize works?
Sure. Well, let me share one of the projects that we have just starting right now that's very retail focused. I think that might be interesting for your audience. So we've just started a project with JBG Smith Companies in Washington, D.C. area. It's actually in their Crystal City portfolio. So JBG Smith is redeveloping Crystal City, which is kind of an older office park area. They're building a lot of new retail, and they're building a lot more open space, placemaking initiatives to really create a place that people don't want to just work there and leave at 5 p.m., but they also want to live there, they want to stay there, they want to go there on the weekends. So they're really excited about using CoUrbanize as a way to engage with a lot of people who are already there, who have ideas in space, but who also might want to move there. So they've set up a CoUrbanize platform to let people know about all of the information. But one of the things that's really exciting is they've also used our text message integration. So if you walk around Crystal City, you'll see a lot of signs asking people questions. And when people see those signs, they can take out their phone and text in an answer to those questions and the phone number listed on that sign. And those ideas don't go into a black box. They actually get published on CoUrbanize on the online platform, and they get a text message back thanking them with the link to the project site so they can continue participating in the process. So that's one example of how at CoUrbanize we focus on lowering the barrier to entry so that people who are pedestrians often have the best ideas, and we make it really easy for them to add their voice.
Right, but I think it's also helpful on the developers' part, or that they're getting input, they're getting new ideas, but they're also being aware of issues that might come up and have a way to respond and tackle them before they get out of control and rumors get printed or different things like that. So
for the real estate developer, time is money, no surprise there. And they need to make sure that the word has gotten out about their project in a way that's more controlled or more factual than sometimes the rumor mill can help.
Right, or the editorial page of the local paper, which can be tough. But so now, did you develop, is there like new software involved with this, or was this adapting existing software that was already on the market or out open sourced?
So we built the platform, we built the technology. It's based on Python libraries, Django. We've used some open source libraries. We use a lot of different libraries, but everything has actually been built in-house.
Okay, wow. That's great. And so when you manage, so are you, is CoUrbanize reviewing the comments, or does it go directly to the developer, or how does the interaction with both sides go, with the public and the private?
So it is a controlled conversation. I always say it's not the online newspaper comments, it's not Facebook. We have a real name policy and community guidelines that we enforce. So a couple of things, we have technology that filters for profanity and spam automatically, and we also have technology that tells us the likelihood that somebody is using a fake name based on their email address and name. So we do have a staff person dedicated every day on CoUrbanize to just ensure that the comments coming in are all following our community guidelines and enforce the moderation.
Okay, that's great. So some of the projects you've completed, the results have been from the developers side or the community side. I mean, was it? Did they feel it improved the process?
Yeah, we've completed over 250 projects, and I'm very happy to say we've never had a single project get stopped by NIMBYism. So we've got a great track record. I would say that the majority of our clients have found that it's saved them time. They've been able to surface issues early or build support faster, so they've reduced time. Others say that they've saved a lot of time. For example, we work on the construction side, so being able to push information out in a scalable way helps the project team reduce the amount of emails and phone calls that they're receiving.
So this isn't just a one-way taking comments in from the public. You're also pushing out schedule information.
Correct.
About what's going on with the project.
Yeah, so our clients have found that they've been able to secure approvals faster, sometimes in a third of the time as other developers in the area, which is a huge ROI for them, or they're able to avoid the spread of misinformation and confusion to be able to get through faster.
Wow. Okay, I didn't realize it was the two-way information. I think that's a great use of that, because I was just having a Facebook conversation with somebody about people getting very upset in airports, and I thought that's because they don't have a lot of information and it's out of their control. So I feel like the more information that's out there, the more transparent a project is, and the more just knowing that they have people, that neighbors have an ability to comment, probably makes a project more feasible.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I think it's also by getting this whole crowd idea. I believe that the next generations, millennials and Gen Z, they want to have their opinions involved. I mean, it's sometimes I feel like Gen X, we throw up our hands and saying, oh God, you know, it's not our problem. But I think it's really exciting about the next generations that they want to get involved. And so I love this type of project.
Yeah, I think that they want to get involved, but they also demand a certain amount of responsiveness. When I provide feedback, I expect to be thanked, and I expect it to be able to see it and see the impact that it's made.
That's true. That's why Twitter and everything else, and Instagram and everything else. So you are using basically these social media philosophies for public good, and I think it's very exciting, because I think we're in a very exciting time in commercial real estate, because we are building buildings around people's needs as opposed to just following old styles. So I think this is a really important step. So now, one quick question on a side note away from the project. What attracted you to commercial real estate? I love when I meet other women in commercial real estate because, you know, there weren't too many of us years ago. But what got you interested in city planning and what you're doing now?
Well, I think for me, it's really about the impact of it. You know, as a city planner, you can focus on things like I'll use an example, bike lanes. You know, it can take a really long time to get a bike lane down the street. That can take many months. But for me, it was if I could influence a real estate development project to be more beneficial to the community and to be more successful, the impact of that is enormous. It's going to be there for decades. So that's what really attracted me to real estate.
Yeah, no, that is true. The impact is going to last, and we're going to have to live with it. So we want to get it right, and having your impact is good. Well, I love, so CoUrbanize.com. Is it CoUrbanize.com?
Yes.
Where we can find more information about the different projects you're doing, and where our brokers and property managers, if they're undertaking projects, can actually see if it's a tool that could possibly work for them, or suggest it to developers that they may know or work with. So this has been terrific. Thank you so much for joining us, Karin. I thought this was a very interesting insight because you are at the nexus of where we're going. I think we're going to have more public, private, and community projects going forward, because I don't think you can do it without one or the other. You need to have all three of those stools, and I think you're the nexus that brings it together. So,
well, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Well, this was another short episode of SVN Outreach, and we'll be back with more. I believe we're talking to MIT Center for Real Estate coming up in a few weeks, and we have a couple other projects we're spotlighting from our own SVN communities. And at SVN, we always appreciate when our advisors and staff can have an impact on our clients, our communities, and our colleagues. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll be back in a few weeks.